ceremonial item number 4, which is Mental Health Month. The Felton Institute, we have a proclamation for them. We will have a presentation from Al Gilbert, the president and CEO. And with him, he will have Adriana Furuzawa, director of the Facility Psychosis Program and Bean Program, Michael Krachevsky, with personal testimony. I want to tell you, when I learned of this institution's presence in our city, I was very happy because this institution is working hard to bring people with perhaps even unknown mental health issues who may only suspect they have some issues, or maybe some people have made some comments to them, but it's enabling them to be able to find a way to deal with their personal difficulties early and before things become really severe, and to be able to come out of the shadows of mental illness and be able to live a full and productive life. Thank you and welcome. Please.
Thank you and welcome for recognizing us during Mental Health Month. I'm Al. Thank you, Mayor and council members. I'm Al Gilbert. I am the president and CEO of Felton Institute. We are 129 years old. We have a workforce of about 500 people. We serve over 10,000 unduplicated clients a year. We serve those clients in 13 different languages. We've been visited by 8 countries this year who have sent teams to study the programs and the work that we've done, which is a huge honor of ours. I've just recently come back from presenting in Singapore and in Hong Kong on the work that we do for our older adult programs. We provide mental health services in all age groups, and we have about 50 different programs. But we know what it's like to be Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant got to join a franchise that was already hugely successful and was already a winner, and he was asked to bring his skills to that franchise, and that's what it feels like being in San Mateo County. Because you guys have such a strong behavioral health and mental health infrastructure here that joining you and allowing us to bring our particular expertise has been really exciting and fulfilling for us as much as it's been for families and people in your community. I want you to imagine for just a second a 15-year-old girl who is found herself in a compromising place. She's just been told that she's pregnant, and she has to share that news with her family, and the fear and the frustration that she feels and feeling like she's a failure. I also want you to imagine a young couple who's been blessed with having a beautiful young baby, and they're struggling with figuring out what it's like to be an adult, managing this baby, and then they find out that the baby has autism. By the time the baby is 2, they get this diagnosis, and they don't know what to do. I want you to imagine a family that's run by a single parent. That single parent has severe mental illness and was not able to get it treated early enough in their life, and then they end up being institutionalized, and the children are left to manage on their own and get involved in all kinds of things that would happen to kids who don't have the family support. So today, having listened to all the recognitions and all the great things that so many of the wonderful kids have accomplished here, it reminds me that so much of the work that we do is so different than that work. I don't want you to listen to me. I'd rather introduce some of the fabulous people that I work for and work with in our organization who do the incredible work that we do, and we're really proud of that. But I'd like to start with Adriana Furuzawa, excuse me. She's our director of our early psychosis work, and an incredible individual as well. Adriana?
Thank you, Al. Dear Mayor Bonilla, Madam Vice Mayor, council members, members of the community, dieharders, it is a great honor to be here today. And we came to San Mateo County in 2012. And we opened our office in the very heart of the city of San Mateo at 1108 South El Camino Real. About a year ago, we celebrated our 5th anniversary, and we had the honor of having Mayor Rick Bonilla join us in welcoming the community, other providers, former program participants, family members, current program participants, and we were a part of the May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And it is really amazing that this year we are also spearheading this very important community event in the city of San Mateo. During these exciting times, we served hundreds of young people and their families. And the way we do it really is by merging science and service. We, back in 2006, 2007, we were partners in developing coordinated specialty care, which is a fancy name for a science-based early psychosis program. So we do everything based on evidence, and we make science really reach those who really need early enough. So the goal is to identify disorders like schizophrenia even before it's taking hold, because we know that we can stop it on its tracks. And we also know that serious mental illness typically hits people when they're launching. So we have high school students, we have people who are just going into college, and they start to experience things that may make it very difficult for them to navigate the world. We serve individuals ages 14 through 35 who are either at risk of having their very first psychotic episode, or who are within 2 years of their first episode, regardless of ability to pay and regardless of insurance. We have a long list of evidence-based practices that make our program. This is how we do the work. And we also have a team of amazing individuals. If you notice, I have some blank spaces there because also part of our team is the young people that we serve and their families. This work cannot be done with professionals alone. One of the things that we do, and it was very timely that we had a presentation about the change in the election system, in the voting system. We also register, or we offer to register our participants to vote, because it's really important to be involved in their communities, and this is a very important aspect of recovery. The impact that our program has, I think it can only be best summarized by the people who participate in the program. We are the professionals, we are the passionate ones, but what we are really doing is creating, paving the way for people to just break through. And hope really is our best ally in the fight against stigma. Science is on our side too. As we speak, there are families that may be receiving a diagnosis of a serious mental illness and are already going into the shadows because of the stigma associated with receiving a diagnosis. For families and for young people, a diagnosis of schizophrenia or bipolar disorder without being, let's say, around us, may cause them to think that that's it. So the plans of going to college, all of that is no more, and that's not really true. And we have actually real-life stories to prove that. And it is a great honor for me to introduce Mr. Mike Krachevsky. He's a father who first came to us with his family in crisis. And he was inspired by his family's experience in participating in our program, working side by side with us, and we convinced him or inspired him to come out of retirement and join our team. So boy, are we thankful for his guidance and inspiration every day. So Mike?
Mr. Mayor, Ms. Vice Mayor, City Council, I'm just going to make a few brief remarks because I know that we're kind of pressed for time. But I want to go off script for just a moment. In the year and a half I've been at Felton, I've been asking the parents of our participants as they come and join our program to how would they describe their child in terms of intelligence and sensitivity. And with the exception of one, they all score them off the charts in terms of highly intelligent in very creative ways and very, very sensitive. So it leads me to the conclusion that perhaps there's something else at work here, that with their increased sensitivity and intelligence, it serves as a tripwire to stress. So someone who is maybe not so sensitive can endure, the vicissitudes of, life that we all experience, but somebody who is much more sensitive, they get pushed over the edge. The metaphor I like to use, you could take a Navy SEAL, lock them up in solitary confinement, deprive them of sleep, and within about a month, they'll be hearing voices, they'll have depression, they'll be paranoid, they'll be delusional. This is a human experience we can all have under the right conditions. It's just that our population seems to be very, very sensitive and very, very smart. So we're not just doing something to help some kids who are in dire need. These are real assets to our community and to our families if we can get in front of this quickly. I first entered the world of mental health one Saturday morning when my son woke me up to discuss something he felt was important. He then told me that based on what he was experiencing, he was quite certain that he was schizophrenic, but for me not to worry, as he was equally certain there was a path forward. After meeting with various mental health professionals, he was referred to Felton's program in San Mateo for early intervention and recovery in psychosis. While at Felton, with extensive therapy and low-dose medication support, we as a family began our journey towards authenticity. We were typical helicopter parents. We learned as a family, however, slowly and painfully to reconcile our deep-seated desire to keep our son safe while simultaneously allowing him to grow and take risks. Occasionally fail. He was a poor high school student, and he came to believe in himself while attending Foothill Junior College and the support he received at Felton. Supported by the program at Felton, he became a student senator while maintaining a high GPA. In an effort to leave Foothill a little better than he found it, he proposed and organized and launched a laptop computer rental program for students who could not otherwise afford to purchase the technology to support their academic careers. Upon graduation from Felton and finishing up at Foothill, he transferred with an academic scholarship to the University of Arizona, Tucson, where he's now attending. Subsequent to that, I joined the team as a family support specialist, working with families in groups and individually to help them and their kids through this stressful period. It is without question the most rewarding work I've ever done. Sitting with our families from every sector of San Mateo, we have a common desire to help our kids define what success means to them, then help them on their path. We are all in our various ways seeking to bridge the gap between keeping them safe while encouraging their autonomy. Through engendering hope and knowledge that recovery is real, we on the Felton team, in partnership with our participants, behavioral health and recovery services, and the various agencies throughout San Mateo County, keep that hope vibrant and alive. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you very much. And in honor of our, is that your presentation? Okay. In honor of our recognition of Mental Health Month, we have a proclamation which I would like to read. Whereas mental health is essential to personal well-being and is fundamental to achieving a healthy, balanced, and productive life, and whereas mental health conditions are real and prevalent, affecting nearly 17% of adults living in California, and mental illness, like physical illness, is a medically treatable condition that can develop in anyone, and those who experience mental illness can return to good health. And whereas organizations such as the Felton Institute work diligently to eliminate the stigma of mental illness by increasing the public's awareness of the importance of mental health, by dispelling myths about mental illness and supporting individuals and families affected by mental health conditions. And whereas the Felton Institute provides mental health assessment and screening services to youth and adults, as well as early intervention services and options for treatment for individuals with mental health issues. And now, therefore, I, Rick Bonilla, Mayor of the City of San Mateo, and on behalf of myself and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby appoint or proclaim May 2018 as Mental Health Month, and acknowledge and commend the Felton Institute, whose mission is to respond to the mental health needs of youth and adults in our community by providing forward-thinking services, treatment, advocacy, and support for individuals and families in San Mateo. Thank you very much. I have a proclamation for you.
Thank you again.
Program manager, come on in. Okay, everybody. Thank you very much. Let's give a big hand. And now, our next order of ceremonial item number 5, Get Us Moving, an update and presentation with Jim Hart.